The views, thoughts, and opinions on this podcast belong only to the hosts and the guests. They don't necessarily reflect any organization or sponsors connected to us. We aim to keep things accurate, but everything you hear is shared for information, conversation, and entertainment. We're going to dive into good laughs, tough talks, and that genuine feel that you came for. So get comfortable, relax into the vibe, and let the moment unfold. This is Keep It Clean. Lock in.
Because if that means if saying it now, did you always then two, you saying it now,
is this needed? Is it acceptable? Does it change up everything? What's y'all's thoughts? Did it make any sense? There's a game that's second place. Yeah, that's second place.
Tell me why I'm watching a game on ESPN. One of the banners in the background is YouTube TV for the game, but we can't even watch it. How does that make sense?
$20. I don't want no $20. I want the game.
And every time you see me, I keep it clean like a coaster.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Keep It Clean, where the chairs spin, the truths land heavy, and the conversations hit harder than the safety in the playoffs. Let's get right to it because sports has been moving fast this week. NFL playoffs, man, it's getting real. Teams are lighting them up. Pretenders are getting exposed, and quarterbacks are either earning their stripes or packing their lockers. You seeing who built for January and who just happy to be on the fly. And the playoff defenses are doing everything they can to send people like Aaron Rodgers into retirement. Some of them are out here hitting like rent is due. Meanwhile, coaching carousel is spinning like a discount barbershop fan. Folks getting fired before their flight home, coordinators stepping down before the ink even dries, and franchises already throwing around interviews like business cards. Every offseason, somebody swears they found their leader until week 3 proves otherwise. We just going to talk about what that might look like before this week 3 comes up. Then for college football, the CFP is heating up and the transfer portal is looking like peak traffic hour. Players are jumping ship or deciding whether or not they're going to go to the league, stacking opportunities and chasing real snaps, and you really can't blame them. Coaches preaching loyalty while recruiting backups for their own starters. It's a cold game, but it's very, very real. And last but not least, we got the NBA. Trade rumors are amongst us as the trade deadline approaches. All-Star game is also approaching. You know how exciting it starts to get. Football winds down, basketball picks up, people are making complaints. We're going to get into all of that today. And we appreciate y'all being here. So we want to first start off with, if you're here, please like, comment, and subscribe. As you see below, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at the Keep It Clean Show. Twitter is at Keep It Clean, at Keep It Clean Show, right? We're happy to have y'all. If you have anything, if you're watching this, feel free to throw in a question. If you aren't watching us live, just add in a question and we're going to make sure to get to you, but we appreciate you. This is Bucket Hat Ray. We're in here. And we got the brother Abe, Mr. Go Blue. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. This is my first time seeing your caption underneath your name right now. All water, no AI. So I'm curious to see the show today. But yeah, I'm good to be here, man.
Yes, sir. All water, no AI, man. They out here building plants on everything, bro. Everything, man. And I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. So really quick side story before we get into it, man. So I did this interview, right? And they set it up, they reach out, and everything, at least the impression I was getting, it was supposed to be like a person to person, just virtual. Bro, the whole thing was an AI like moderator. And it was so precise. It responded to everything I said. It was only 15 minutes, and I felt genuine fear. Fear. Like I'm talking about, I'm trying to intentionally give answers that would make a person think. And then it was just like, yeah, that's a good answer. I like how you dove into this and it specified it, and this is where it could go with these types of topics. That's a great answer. And then how about, and then just presented a new scenario, bro. Hey, man. Hey.
I'm not ready for I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not ready for all that. That's crazy.
I started looking at it, man. I'm looking at it like, man, someone's HR job just got lost in this moment, bro. And it's just going, oh man, I'm telling you, bro, made me nervous. But Yeah, for sure, man. Okay, do you have a highlight of the week, you have a player of the week, you have a bozo of the week?
Yeah, highlight of the week for me was watching the Steelers lose. It's about time. I mean, I don't want that from Mike Tomlin. I'm not an avid Aaron Rodgers hater, but I am a part of the fan club. So,
Okay.
Ready to kind of see that ship sail. So, definitely that was kind of like my high for the weekend. Bozo of the week, I mean, it's hard to say this because I don't want to do any damage to the young man, but Dante Moore, that was a terrible goal at that game, my brother. It just plain and simple, it wasn't his best game. Obviously, he's still an NFL quarterback. The fact that he decided to come back to school shows that he really wants to improve, and he also hates to play for the Jets that much. So it's a double-edged sword. I understand on both sides. So, yeah, I mean, you're not going to be the number one pick. Mendoza is. I think everybody has that kind of concrete at this point. And, short of him having something terrible happen to him, like he's going to be the number one pick. So it is what it is. And, yeah, I think that kind of covers my week.
Okay. I will start off with my highlight. We're going to get into this later, but I keep trying to tell you, man, I don't miss on QBs, bro. I just don't miss when we're talking QBs. And I don't feel happy about this, but the Bills did what they needed to do. In addition of Trevor Lawrence doing exactly what I told you he was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Fold like a lawn chair, right? You get out there and what set the tone for the weekend. Great playoff, or at least for that Sunday. It set the tone for that Sunday. You got Buffalo on the road, and it was the storyline game. And that I was okay with that being the storyline game because just like you and I talk about all the time, there's no Pat, there's no Lamar, there's no Joe Burrow. So while we had an exciting day before on the NFC side, all eyes are on you right now. What are you going to do with this? And boy got beat. Boy got beat up. I don't think you can do it again. So I'm gonna give you a highlight this week because man, you was out there getting rocked, right? Bozo of the week. I have two. I'm gonna start with AJ Brown. AJ Brown. Them alligator arms made everyone really try to determine it, you know what I'm saying? Was this intentional? Did you really just drop it? AJ Brown dropped key passes. San Francisco didn't win. Philly lost to me from what I saw. And I understand that you have a limited package with Jalen Hurts, but AJ, man, all right, he led you by 2 yards the first time. Then the second time it was 1 yard. Then he hit you in your hands, and then you're gonna try to size up the coach. Both of y'all could leave. Both Nick Sirianni, bro. Nick has been riding the wave of making it to the Super Bowl the first time they played the Chiefs for a little bit of time, anyways. You just happened to win, which saved you a job. You still were looking shaky after the Nick Foles one. We see this. We're paying attention to you now. Now it's like I don't know if you have control of the locker room either. I don't know if you have control of the locker room. My highlight moment. Mike Tomlin sitting in that resignation. He said, you know how thorough it is to go and never have a losing season. He's so thorough with not having a losing season, you can't even fire him. He said, I'm gonna beat you to that too. That's how much of a winner he is. And step down.
It's resigning again. Yeah.
Said you thought. Nah, not me though. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I got one thing to say though. The Nick Sirianni thing with AJ Brown, he ran AJ down. The clip of the Sirianni literally running down there, but you realize when he got to him, he had his shoulder to him and he was looking at him like this because he realized like he had went too far. You don't run up on a player like that. I don't care if you're upset. Be upset. Come tell me how you feel, but don't run up on me like that. That's why AJ got in his face after that. Because how dare you run up in my space like you about to do something and then go sit there and do like this. And then let somebody say. Come on now.
We've played sports.
Yeah.
A coach running up to you is wild aesthetically. But 9 times out of 10, I'll say almost 10 out of 10, we don't really see coaches put hands on the player. So a coach running up to yell at you isn't unusual.
Right.
And he was justified.
Okay.
We synced it.
Okay.
We synced it. He didn't, but he didn't even make physical contact. He turned the shoulder too, because I get what you're saying, but we've seen that before.
See, well, the difference is we talking about like when we was kids growing up, coming up in it, being in college, that type of thing. That's different. As a grown man, running up on me like that with the beef and the atmosphere that we're already in, yeah, you can't do that. I'm sorry.
Okay. They were in Philly though, right?
Right.
If they got into it, knowing how the Philly fans are, you think they help Nick or they help AJ in that moment?
They're gonna help Nick because they already sick of AJ, so they gonna help Nick. You saw the interview after the game where he was like, "I need AJ Brown to pack his bags right now. I love the guy, but I need him gone." And then the offensive coordinator, I need him flipping burgers at McDonald's by the end of this week. Like that was like a child and how he feels. So I can only imagine how the rest of the fan base feels. So yeah, that's a tough one.
Okay. We're going to come back to that, man. We're going to come back to that. We're going to start off with the easier topic, bro. Let's get to them college football playoffs. I will just go ahead and put it out there. The Nike run is over. The Nike run of championship games is over. We will have officially a new brand champion, and it's going to be Adidas. In a surprising turn of events. I would have predicted Under Armour getting there before Adidas did, as long as they kept trying to boost up Notre Dame. But here we are. Here we are with 2 Adidas schools. We got Miami, we got Indiana, but let's break down the games first. Which one you want to touch on?
Let's do the one that was actually interesting. Let's do Ole Miss and Miami.
Okay, break it down. What you see?
So for me, watching the game, I mean, this is what you want to see in the college football playoffs. I think everybody got their money's worth on this one. We talked about this before last week. Miami's defense is stout. They also played a high-powered offense with Lacey, with Chamberlain. Like most of those guys, they know what to do in order to get the ball down the field. It wasn't easy on either side of the ball, and I think with it still being a hard-fought game, having the score be up in the 20-30s is like great because you're still seeing a bunch of scores at the same time. So
yes,
it gave you everything that you wanted, plus also being a hard-fought game. Ole Miss losing at the end there, that was hard to watch because I was actually cheering for them, especially after everything that was going with Lane Kiffin and all that. I was kind of hoping that they would get it over, but watching them lose in that last play and then the turmoil of them like bringing on the stuff, bringing it back, like it just, to me, it just felt like a bad case of just the Mondays. If you've ever had one, you know what that feels like, and they did everything right and something still went wrong.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything you said. I think it was to the point where they gave us the game that we were looking for. That's the type of game that you were looking for in the college football playoffs, and Ole Miss did it in back-to-back games. You had it with Georgia, you had it with Miami. Mm-hmm. Ole Miss gave us the 2 best football games of this entire college football playoffs.
Agreed.
All together. Defense, offense, you had both. They were averaging, just like we talked about going into the game, they were averaging a little above 30 almost every game. Anyways, they showed you. It's so tough to see a team produce like that and go out the way that they did, because it shouldn't come down to the last call, but that's one of the most blatant defensive pass interferences. I'm talking about hands on him from the moment he entered the end zone all the way to the 7 yards deep where he got tackled. Yep. And it's like, bro, you gotta call that. You gotta call that, man. And it was set up. It was set up in the way is like, man, if they win that game, I know we're talking about Indiana on the other side, but that is a lot of momentum. That's a lot of momentum. However, on the flip side, I do got to give credit where credit is due. Carson Beck came in the clutch. He did. He came in the clutch. Like he he had his defense do a lot that game. We can be honest there. But Carson finishing the drive the way that he did is like, man, and that was tough too when you watch the play, especially when you have just a little bit of football sense, and it's like, of all the times that you don't have a spy in the way he just casually walked in, because it's not like he was just running on everybody. So I understand why you don't have a linebacker spy in that moment. A running play would get the pull of a lot of people, and it was just like a scramble, bro. It's like it just happens, bro.
Yeah.
it just happens. But Miami set themselves up with a home game for the college football playoff championship. They set themselves up with a home game. And if you're Carson Beck, after winning that game, you left Georgia, you've won at Georgia, you leave after whatever the turmoil is. People are talking about how all this other drama has surrounded you, but you now get to finish and possibly, is it possibly a revenge tour? Is it a redemption tour? Is this upping his stock? Because where do you have him if he was to declare for the NFL right now? Is he first round?
Yeah, probably so.
You sure? You think so? Okay.
I'd say probably so, just because he has the size ability. I mean, he's older, so you kind of like that. He's got the size. He's got a nice arm. You know, he's definitely made a bounce back since his injury. Like, if you're looking at him, you've seen he's played with some high-level competition. If he goes and wins the national championship, which I doubt they will, but he's in the championship game, he plays a decent game, you can tell yourself, if that's to somebody, like, I don't know if you take him on your first pick, but you got a chance of taking him in the first round, second round. You probably need to before the price, goes up and he's gone.
Fair. That's fair. I watched Michael Penix get drafted in the first round, even with a franchise that had a QB, so anything is possible.
This is a great example of what anything can happen in the NFL draft. So yes, that's a great example.
I don't believe he definitely wasn't top 2 or 3 QBs. I do believe Moore. I believe Mendoza were easily ahead of him. I think if there was a time to go in on the other side, I'm surprised that Chambliss is going back to Mississippi, because I thought he did enough to at least earn himself at least a second.
I thought he got denied.
No, I thought he got approved.
I thought he got denied.
Google's.
Oh, we got to check. We got to fact check, folks. Give us a second here.
Listen, that Chambliss. Look. Because from your side, from what you've seen, did they say why?
They basically said it's his 6th year and they weren't allowing it. Had it been his 5th, they said yes, but the 6th year, no. So right here, I got one that says, "What can Chambliss do for the Senior Bowl NFL draft while waiting on appeal?" So they're appealing the decision.
Because insufficient medical documentation.
Right. So they denied it straight up.
Okay.
So to your point, he's trying to come back. He wants to play one more year. He sees that last year of trying to run it back with Ole Miss, because the whole team's talking about coming back. Lacey, all of them. So they're trying to recreate what they've done this year, but the NCAA ultimately said no to start off and denied it because of the medical history, and now he may not get a chance to play.
Okay. Well, then that would still put him. I would still take him above Beck, right? I don't know. Okay. Him and Beck start having a conversation together. Right. So they wouldn't be top 2. Yeah. Well, they now might move up because Moore is choosing to go back to school. I can understand that. Well, damn, man. Yeah.
The Jets don't have a choice quarterback, so they have to take somebody. I don't know who they take. I don't know if you take Carson Beck's that high, but you don't have a choice but to take a quarterback at that spot. You can't wait till next year.
Is the quarterback the main issue with the Jets right now?
No, they've got a few issues, but quarterback is definitely one of the ailing ones that's been for them all year.
Now, mind you, Jets are second. You're avoiding the Raiders.
Yeah.
If you're a college prospect, you don't think you could come in. This is with all due respect. I'm genuinely asking, based on where they're at in shambles, do you don't believe you could come in and take Geno Smith's job?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so you really
But
are just
Mendoza
avoiding.
is the number one. So like that's
Gotcha.
why I'm not even thinking about like the Raiders, because I'm literally thinking Mendoza is a Las Vegas Raider like tomorrow. Like I don't think there's even a conversation for it. I'm and like I said, Dante Moore was probably the only person who would have might even been something, when it gets down to the last second where they go, you know what? I want him to be a little bit more athletic. I'm going more. That was probably the only thing stopping them from going Mendoza. I don't think there's anything stopping them from going Mendoza now.
Okay, fair. Was there? I'm looking at the stats too. I'm going back to the Miami game, man.
Mm-hmm.
Did Carson Beck show you enough that made you think you could put stock in him winning the championship game?
Yes, as a player, he showed me he could be efficient with the game that he had this past game with Ole Miss, and that was a high pressure, high stakes game, and he showed you that he could. Do I think they will? The answer is no. I think this is a very hard Indiana team to beat. They just look like bullies. Everybody they've played, like coming up to this point, they just look like bullies. Like they're in the 12th grade playing the ninth graders, and they're showing them why testosterone and puberty is a real thing. Like that's what this looks like to me. So it's really hard to look at Carson Beck in Miami and be like, they're going to bring it. Now, I do think Miami's defense is going to make this very spicy.
Okay. He said they're in the 12th grade playing ninth graders. Okay. Okay, fair. So then let's go over to the other game. We had let's go over to the other scheduled football matchup, because I don't know if you can necessarily call it a game. Should we just address the history of Oregon in these college football playoffs before we even get to the game?
Yes.
Okay. How many times, how many coaches can you go through where you're this high-powered offense, ranked heavily, get in there, and when we say just deuce the bed, I'm talking about messy, burn the mattress, start all over, like all of that, man, every single time. And this is probably the only year where if you were putting it in a vacuum, you'd be like, nah, but Indiana has been like that. Like they've been doing that all year.
Right.
However, in totality of your history, it's hard to even do that. You got the brakes beat off of you by a team that most people already assumed you were going to get the brakes beat off of you. They didn't think it'd be like that, but they probably gave it like a 14-point cushion.
Right.
Then your history of just fumbling the bag, man. Was it just not their year? Is it an Oregon historical thing for you when you watch the game? Is Indiana just that cold that you could have thrown anybody in there and and you would have got more or less the same result? Like what was it for you?
I mean, you've heard it all over social medias and the platforms and everything. They're comparing this season to like the LSU Joe Burrow days for Indiana. And for me, it's like when you see this team, it's unfortunate you have to play them. And you go through those stretches where like you have a really solid team. Like I hate to bring this up just to spite people anyway, but the Sacramento Kings had a really good team from the year 2000 to 2004. But you guess what?
He's shooting strays. He's shooting strays.
There was a team called the Los Angeles Lakers, and there was nothing to get past them. Took them to 7 games, all that other stuff. There was just nothing you could do because you just had to go through LA. Now, obviously, Indiana is not some dynasty that's been around for years and all that, but like this is a team where they look ready. And so I don't think it had anything to do with Oregon's capability because they showed that they could do what they could do to get there. but they just unfortunately had to play a team that to me looked 1,000% more ready.
Okay. Oregon's starting to look like Brian Kelly and the Buffalo Bills in the 90s.
Wow.
Because how many times can you get to the promised land and then get just only a temporary visit at best? Like you got a guest pass. You don't even get the main Wi-Fi. You got the free guest login, the little spotty.
You got to sign the waiver just to get on there. Yeah.
I'm fully confident at this point that every time they get there, Oregon already has 5 or 6 printed versions of them with their Nike championship tees, and somewhere somebody is collecting. Someone got a secret collector stash of what if shirts, all the colors, the colors. You would have thought they were Jamaican with as much green and yellow and black that they would have had.
Hey, and the jerseys was clean too.
Clean.
Oh man.
Clean, bro.
Oh man. Last week, I mean, the Nike gear that would have came off of this would have been ridiculous. Yeah.
What?
They messing it up for us.
They are, man. The exclusives, man. You could have just threw something at the wall. I'm sure, and again, I'm sure they already have the shoes made.
Yes.
I'm sure they already have the shoes made, bro. They went in there, bro. We're joking, but Indiana put a left hook to the side of the jaw to them. A pick six on the first play.
That's so
the first play from scrimmage was a walk back to the touch. Come on, man. Come on. And then if we really broke it down, it's like Oregon, he recovered, more recovers. You go down, you go get you a touchdown, you tie it up. And it made you feel like, oh, okay, we got something. We got something here. And then the punches just started happening. And they said it at the beginning of the game, right before everybody, like the literal kickoff. I don't know if you remember this, but the announcers were talking about the average age of Indiana compared to everybody else, right? And so the average age on that team is 23 years old. They're technically older than, I forgot what the NFL team was, but I think it was either the Giants or somebody else. The Indiana team on average is 23 years old. Nobody is a teenager playing on that team.
These are grown men.
These are grown men. They might already have jobs. They might already have wives. They might already have kids. These are grad schools. These are bills will start as soon as this season is over. There is no league. Men, right? You know how we've been laughing all year at the 37 and up league that's been floating around with all that. This is the team that them 37 and ups think they are, right? This is them still in their time, bro. Man,
right.
They're playing boys. Yeah. Like you don't have the experience, and it's interesting to watch because it's not like Indiana was a top tier college football team that we were talking about. They truly came out of nowhere. The coach got started last year. We saw it in the bowl game, but this is one of those teams too. You might see a foundation. This is just me speaking. I don't have too much facts behind it currently in the moment. I'm gonna do more research, but to me, this is what the example will be to set the foundation of a team countering the NIL portal, right? Like if you just are okay with coming to school, get your education, you lock in, and we won't do you wrong. You're a part of a family, and it's like you don't got people bouncing in and out. These are all 2, maybe 3-star recruits at best. At best. So it's a bunch of hard workers, and you are showing that you can win with that. Money's always going to be there for sure. But if you know you're not going to the league and you can get you a little bit here and there, that booster club's going to start boosting. They're going to get more attention off of this. I'm sure Adidas has something. Adidas already had the commercial taking shots at Nike. You saw it. You know, both of us saw it. Like, it was just like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying my middle finger was at the TV, but in my mind, it was in the director's face as he was shooting it. I traveled back in time and tried to rob him, you know? This this is one of those is like, yeah, y'all do all that, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's perfect timing too. The SEC had a horrendous postseason.
What
They had a horrendous postseason. Ole Miss was their shining light, which is crazy considering that the shining light of Ole Miss was Lane Kiffin. Like the
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? The luster of the SEC was summed up by Lane Kiffin this year, and then they fell apart, right? The Big Ten, other than Indiana, you still are trying to remember who Indiana is. You like, this doesn't look, they just happen to be in the Big Ten.
It doesn't look right.
It doesn't look right. Right? We're not talking about Michigan. We're not talking about Ohio State. We're not talking about Penn State. We're not talking about, Indiana's there and it's like, oh yeah, y'all are in the Big Ten. The Indiana looks like a high class Mountain West team. They look like they should be middle of the pack ACC. The whole squad don't look. You get where
New Mexico State University. Like, this is what this looks like. Yeah.
So with that being said, I got a clear 21-point game in this championship. Bro. I got a mean 21-point game. Bro.
Man. I'm not even, what's funny? I'm not even mad at that take. It sucks to have to think that might be our Monday night. Like, we're sitting here getting all excited for it, like, but this might be our actual Monday night. Like, yeah, that does suck.
I don't know what Carson Beck's going to get hit about 2 or 3 times the way Moore was getting hit back there. Moore looked rattled. And if Indiana wins the coin toss and starts the second half with the ball, I'm calling it's game before the first kickoff is done. Because the opportunity for them to create a 2-touchdown lead is too insurmountable right now based on what I'm seeing. Right?
Yes.
It might be a group text call of, hey man, yeah, bro, it's crazy. My Monday night just freed up in the middle of the first quarter when they're you see that? Is my TV tripping? Does that say 28-3? Oh, okay, cool. Do you have anything different? You see a possible fight? Can Miami keep it close?
Because of Miami's defense, I am giving them like a 10 to like 12 point deficit to Indiana because I'm feeling like they'll catch Mendoza 1 or 2 times. That's my thought. I'm thinking there'll be an early mistake that'll get Miami pumped, but then immediately following that, Indiana's going to just stuff it down their throat. Just exactly what they do with every other team. Just come back and go, hang on a second. Because Indiana's not a team you can make a lot of mistakes on, and they don't make a lot of mistakes. So I'm thinking that Miami being at home, they might get some love. This might rattle them a little bit. You know what I mean? And so, like, something might happen early on, but then they're going to come back and they're going to be the team that we've seen them be all year. And then it'll be like exciting at first, but then it'll just slowly just, go downhill.
The part of even having to rely on Indiana to make a mistake, which is crazy. Mendoza hasn't utilized mistakes since he was probably in his 4th grade spelling bee. That's the last. That's what it looks like now, man. Like what did he finish the game with? What was his passing stats against?
It was very, very good. I could tell you that. I don't remember what it was, but let me look up the game real quick.
It was something crazy.
It was
nearly 17-20 for 177, and that doesn't sound like much, but then you consider the fact he threw 5 touchdowns.
And they ran for a few. What are we doing here?
These passes were on the money, and it's easier too because these receivers, I should highlight that. I was watching Indiana's receivers create separation in ways that is like, these guys they don't look fast. They just look like great route runners. You had a team full of Lad McConkeys, a whole bunch of Hunter Renfros. Like you just had Wes Welkers everywhere, just inside. Little chop step pull. Man.
You're talking about a team. You just said it out loud though. He threw for 5 touchdowns. Now, if we all are doing our football math, right? 5 times 7 is 35. The final score was 56-3. I'm sorry, 56-22. Like they still scored after that. Homie was running it in like it was no problem. So like we're talking about how do you score 5 touchdowns in the air, but that wasn't the final score. You are again, consolation prize. Thanks for showing up, Oregon. You didn't do anything worth talking about. Like we are solely focusing on Indiana at this point. So there you go.
Oh gosh, man. I'm sorry, Carson. I would love a situation. I'll end it here. I'll love a situation to where Miami makes us apologize, because that will tell me it will be one hell of a game.
That's right.
I would love.
I want to see a good game, regardless of how I feel, how you feel. We want to see a good game. So if that comes down to the last minute field goal and Indiana kicks it in, hey, I'll be happy about it. But the tape says otherwise.
Ooh, yeah. Well, let's go to the next level tape, man. NFL talk, bro. We got here. We had us a good first round. Good opening round weekend. You want to go in order of the games?
Sure. What do you want to start off with?
What was the first game? The Carolina Panthers, who was only here because of shout out to the Falcons, and the LA Rams, who were in that position because they lost to the Falcons, and they opened the NFC for us, right?
Right.
What were your thoughts on the game?
I mean, the fact that they only won by 3 points. I mean, Carolina almost made this a spicy game. I mean, they made it a spicy game by being in it. It showed that the Rams made mistakes toward the end to let Carolina be in the game, but that's not an excuse. You're supposed to handle business. You finish your food at the plate. So for me, it was a good game. It was probably one of the better playoff games that we've seen this week. And that's all we're really asking for at this point. My team ain't in it. Your team ain't in it. So now we're just avid fans. So at this point, we just want to see end of the game be up 3 points, just like this one, trying to drive to get that last minute, touchdown or whatever to get it in there. That's what I want to see. And that's what they gave us. So I was happy about it.
Okay. I will start off with, there is no reason on God's green earth as a professional football coach that you should end the game with 3 full timeouts in your pocket. That's just unfathomable to me. When you had plenty of time to go down and still, you are still in the game, a winnable game with 3 timeouts in your pocket. Some of the worst clock management I have seen, man. That's just, there's no reason for that. Like that's one of those that should automatically be a fireable offense. It should, as again, playoff game at home, 3 timeouts in your pocket in the game that realistically you weren't supposed to be in, and you were. Right. That's a major choke. That's a major choke. You're in a game where Matt threw for 3 touchdowns and only had 1 interception, right? Puka Nacua is going nuts over there with 10 receptions, and you had 3 of them things in your back pocket, right? That should be a straight to the office. Your turn, man, because this is a Cinderella run that could happen. The Carolina Panthers are coming together, and you remember that. That would be something for me, is like, I'm not saying that this happens and he had a year where they came from a position of everybody essentially counted them out. We were expecting no more than 2 wins. You made the playoffs. It wasn't pretty, but you gave me 6 more wins than I expected you to get. And you might lose the locker room on that type of thing. All that momentum, all the hustle, all the heart, a home game. Yeah, I don't see that. But I agree with everything you said about the Rams. They left some doors open. But They left some doors open to where you could study a little bit of film and then feel confident if you're still going in there, because going into that next game that they have, you might not be able to do that. But we can go into the second one, man. San Francisco, Philadelphia.
The second one was Green Bay and the Bears.
Wasn't it? Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought it was San Fran.
No, that was Saturday night on the 10th.
You're right. Green Bay and the Bears. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
actually,
that was, listen, you want to talk about
that wasn't a better game than Carolina? And you said Carolina in LA was, did you say it was
one
the best
of
game?
the best games this
one.
weekend?
Okay. I was about to say, because that
game was Chicago Green Bay. Hands down.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, just watching the game, the Caleb Williams thing, if you ever questioned it, this is the type of stuff they were just seeing from him in college. He's got the body, he's got the speed, he's got the the IQ. This is a good quarterback for the team. Let's just be honest. Caleb's doing his thing. The defense is amazing for Chicago. They're definitely doing their thing, but I mean, the Packers are no Carolina. So, like, the Packers could easily hit a run and then mess around and be waving a championship trophy in your face. Like, they have a team that could get them there in that situation. They're going through a lot of injuries, all that stuff, but, like, they've got a good team. Talent, weapons, the whole nine. But for that to end the way it was nuts.
Yeah. I will start off by saying, McManus, you should be the primary focus as a kicker, because you altered how the rest of the game finished out.
Yeah.
However, in the grand scheme of things, or the quarter of things,
right?
You can't even put more than 20% on you, because Green Bay let Chicago put Caleb Williams hung 25 points in that fourth quarter.
Yes.
Caleb Williams hung 25 points in that fourth quarter. This shouldn't have even been a situation for McManus to have to be the responsible party.
Right.
Caleb was throwing dots.
Dots, dimes, packages,
lasers,
layover, next day shipping. He was doing all that.
Caleb was doing everything, man. And it's like he would have an iffy play there, and then the next one come back, and I'm talking about DJ Moore bucket. All that wind that the kickers couldn't handle didn't look like they affected his passes, man. You starting to think it's like, nah, there has to be money on the game, because the same wind that I just watched this kick go all the way to a fan is the same wind that is carrying a perfectly. Now you got Tom Brady up there the next day trying to be Tom, discussing how to throw against it and all the science. I know what you are. I know what you are, Tom. Shut up. Caleb figured it out. All I had to do was watch his tape. I have to give credit, man. You did 25 in a game where it's like, I'm not even, there's two things that happen there. Caleb Williams did his job, and at the same time, I'm on the side. I'm not mad at what Jordan Love did. Jordan Love did essentially what you're supposed to do for the most part. So trying to put that last drive on him, and he was trying to make it happen expeditiously. He was really trying to get them back in, because there was a lot of momentum loss. It's like sometimes you start off hot, but you could be mad at him saying, like, okay, there was a lot of 3 and outs. There were some questionable throws. He wasn't accurate the way he was supposed to be. It's like, yes. And there's also the fact that this is a rivalry game on their home field, wins the way that they are against a great defense. A great defense that's doing this to everybody. I gave, if I'm Jordan Love, I gave you 21 in the first half. I gave you 21, and then I got us in positions to at least get field goals, so I'm not walking away with empty drives. I'm proud of what Jordan Love did myself. I think he did a good job. I think you get him you get him a receiver, though. When Golden gets to develop a little bit more under the guys,
I was just about to say he's got a pocket full of receivers. Like, it can any one of them can. Dobbs, Watson, Golden.
Like, they cool. Golden has the most potential. But I'm like, Reed, Dobbs, and Watson also has potential as well. Watson does have potential. If they develop, they'd be solid.
Yeah.
I don't know about number one.
Watson can be your deep ball threat. He could be your number one.
You could be a deep ball threat, but I don't know about it. Like, okay, because that would be the same as what y'all have. I don't think Jameson Williams is a number one. I think he's a deep ball threat, but I don't think he's a number one. That's how I look at Watson.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so with that being said, like Dobbs just had a cool year, but he's not a standout receiver. I think Jordan Love, could you get AJ?
I mean, yeah.
AJ on the Packers?
Yeah.
Oh, we might have. We bookmark this when we get back to the season. Can you get? Oh yeah. AJ to the Packers
around with Jordan Love. That looks good.
Come on, with the Josh Jacobs that's running the way he is, but yes, man. Shout out. That was game of the weekend. Game of the weekend. Shout out to both of those franchises. Shout out to y'all's division for even doing that, man. And I will update where I'm at with Caleb Williams later on. But then, so we go into Sunday, and I want to preface this. We were right. We were right so much that I started my Sunday with a tad bit of depression because of how right I knew we were. Yes, we were getting playoff football, but you and I sat here last week and talked about how essentially the AFC is all defense. There is nothing. There's like, you're just seeing which defense does better. And coming off of two games like the Carolina Panthers and Los Angeles Rams, then you get the Bears and the Packers, high scoring excitement. I went into Sunday going, damn, it's going to be a bunch of field goals and punts out here, by the end of today. I'm gonna mess around and know I'm gonna know all the kickers' names by the end of today, man. And it wasn't completely that, but we could get into the first game. Jacksonville, Buffalo. You said Josh Allen had to show up. I said Trevor Lawrence isn't about that. Were we both right?
Yep. I think this is one of those me and you can high five because we both called it.
You know what I'm saying? Up top, bro. You feel me?
Yeah.
Up top right there, bro.
It's one of those where, like, obviously Josh won this game for Buffalo. Like, we can call that what it is. Josh single-handedly won this game for Buffalo. Trevor Lawrence single-handedly ruined the game for Jacksonville. So with your quarterback calls, you've been pretty good. I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna get back to you on the Herbert one because we had that conversation last week.
We did.
He definitely did exactly what I said he was gonna do. But as far as this game goes, it's exactly how we called it, and there's nothing even to discuss around that.
The crazy part about it was like, if you were just watching, you would have thought that if the score disappeared, you would have thought that Jacksonville was up the whole game.
Yep.
The Bills' method of scoring was very ugly, but other than the very initial field goal, all the points across each quarter was the same. Both teams scored 7 in the second, both teams scored 3 in the third, both teams scored 14 in the fourth. So they were going, back and forth in the way that they were. I mean, there was a defensive interception and whatnot. There was a lot of stuff that was happening. Brian Thomas finally scored a touchdown wherever you've been for all the fantasy players throughout the year. I know they're mad at you that now all of a sudden your hands work, but it wasn't a crazy amount of yards for each side. Both only had 340, 359, 2 turnovers for the Jags. But yeah, you know what I did that last play? Like right before the last play, when Jacksonville got the ball back, I left. I went to go get groceries because I knew he was going to turn it over. And I was right. I didn't even have to look at it. I saw that Trevor Lawrence got the ball back, and I was so dedicated to it. And it's like, yeah, you could say it was tipped. He was covered. You threw it in the coverage. You did. Yeah. He was well covered. You had to make an NFL throw that would have gave him enough to make the play as a receiver, and you didn't make the NFL throw. I'm sorry. he is who we thought he is, bro. Stop. We're going to get to Herbert, but stop trying to group Trevor and all that talk like he should be in that group. He shouldn't be in that group. Right. He's cool. Yeah. He's cool. Jacksonville should look for a QB. I'm the opposite of that lovely reporter that was giving the coach, the verbal pat on the back in the press conference. Right. Not for Trevor. No. Hey, whatever she said, find the opposite. Right? Like, dude, you're not there. I'm sorry, you're not there. You have good receivers. You've had Calvin Ridley. You have Brian Thomas Jr. You've had receivers. You've had running backs. I'm not there. You've had tight ends. Mm-hmm. Strange is a great tight end. You've had tight ends, bro. Yeah. You are who we thought you are. But Josh is going into next week beat up, bro.
Yeah.
Fingers jammed, face mask and hit the nose. He going into next week beat up.
Yeah. I'm worried about him next week because he showed you he's Josh Allen. Josh Allen can get you out the first round regardless of who you're playing. And I kind of feel that. But I don't know if he's doing that again for the second game.
Fair. And then we went into the second game, which was, with all due respect, the dud of the weekend. New England versus the Chargers.
I don't even know if you can call it a dud. That was boring.
Yeah. 16-3. I think here's what happened here. Only one touchdown, which came in the fourth quarter. And if I remember that correctly, that touchdown it won the game, but it just it just made it to where it's like, oh, okay, thank you for scoring. I sat through 4 quarters for this. I will admit that the Patriots defense is crazy. I thought I thought Justin Herbert could do more, but I also am aware of the fact that we did say the AFC is the strong conference. I stand by that. The Chargers did have the best offense out of everybody on that, because as you can see with the Patriots weren't doing much more. Right. It was looking shaky. You were this close to not even being able to make that take. You were like right here. Of not even, it was a boring game, but that's not a bad thing in the way of, quite honestly, that's what the AFC is going to look like. That's just what the AFC is going to look like. It's all defense over there, right? And I don't know. Do you have much more on that game? I don't got too much.
I was just gonna say the only reason why I can even make that statement is because they had 3 points. You didn't walk or you didn't help your team get into the end zone at all.
Yeah.
And for me, that's like, okay, I've been seeing the Herbert talk. I understand he's better than the average quarterback, but we just haven't seen him in these moments, where you have your moment talking about Sam Darnold, how he's choked in these moments and all that. Not to say that he's choked, but I haven't seen these moments from her. So I don't really buy that stock whenever it comes with him, because I just haven't seen it. I think he's in a great situation, but I just haven't seen that next jump or getting over the hump. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not even really it is a genuine reason, but it's not a full pass for me, because the offensive line is questionable for him and has been questionable because he's constantly on the run. You also played a great defense in New England too. And I don't want to take that away, because you do have some talented pieces around you and y'all are figuring it out. But I can understand the aspect of people not having him in that group.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you were to separate him, it would be those 4 still, to me, him, and then you can drop off and start getting to your Trevors and whatever the case may be. Like he would still be second tier on the outside looking in at best.
Right.
I'm interested to see what they do going into next year. That's going to be an exciting team to see in the offseason, because if they do get a line, you got a slew of running back. You got 2 running backs back there that could do a lot.
You got lucky.
A receiver. Yeah, man. But you got a receiver group that could use a little bit of touch, but you still got McConkey. Quentin Johnson came into his own, or he's starting to develop. I don't know what Keenan Allen's going to be, but you can start seeing his way towards the finish line. But yes, That's all I got for then. That's it. That's all I got for that game. Drake May. I'm glad that you had this game first. That's what I would say for him. I'm glad that you had this game first, and then you were able to successfully win that game. And now it's like you had a game to where you could have a lull and some questions about yourself and still go forward and say, you know what, I learned something. They might have edged a couple things for me going over on that side of the playoffs. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say he got the same treatment as CJ Stroud, which
That's
we're about to get it. But yeah,
yes.
Go ahead.
And that then takes us into what would have been a bigger dud if it wasn't for how a defense that was so cold that they score. Because
we'll do it over here too. Don't worry about it.
Because CJ, my good brothers in God's grace. I'm wearing this Texans jersey today, right? Shout out to Andre Johnson. Tag still on, bro. I've never worn it. I left the tag on. You know why I left the tag on? I'm gonna give you a quick story, bro. This is during my earlier years of still football watching. This, as you could tell by who is on this jersey, right? This isn't new. This was a jersey back from before Nike even got the contract. This is one of them times our dads. And it's like one of them times he feeling nice, you getting ready for Christmas, whoopie whoop, and he's like, man, what team do you like?
Yeah.
Y'all know who I am. Do you think I ever but no, right? So cool. I'm only looking at this from hindsight. But in that moment, he gives the gifts. Now, mind you, I know for the last couple of years, you got me a Falcons jersey that I had to turn into a Vic jersey. I didn't mix those words up. You got me a Falcons jersey that I had to turn into a Vicks jersey, right? Before I got to earn a Vicks jersey. But somewhere in the middle, Pops got me this Andre Johnson jersey. He was a Texans fan, and he was still trying to convert me, right?
Okay.
You feel? Yeah, and this was the only Texas team he would support.
So there was a reason why you didn't get the Vic one. I got you. Yeah.
You know, so I'm shocked at the fact that it's Nike. Knowing him, this is the same man that saw a pair of And1 shoes gifted to him and then asked my brother and I, who is Andy? With a serious face. The serious of serious face. Hey. Who is Andy? You feel me? So yeah, still got the tags on. This is legitimately probably the first time I've ever put it on, and because of the way that you played CJ Stroud, it's probably the only time I get to wear it. I'm wearing it in despite of you. CJ tried to give that game away, bro.
CJ got some bills to pay. So somebody's owed some serious money because CJ got some bills to pay, man.
Hey man, how many times you just drop the ball on the ground by accident? How many times? The ball just,
yeah, that need to be studied.
Because look, I'm already in my brother's group chat. We're going back and forth, man. We entered the weekend a lot stronger, and we lost 3. In the reign of black QBs winning Super Bowls, our margins have been slimmed after we lost Jordan, we lost Jalen, and we lost Bryce. 3 of them went down in flames, right? And then you just see CJ Stroud looking like Alvin the Chipmunk under that helmet. Just here's the ball. Here, Aaron, have it back. Aaron wants some more, please, bro. Yes, Aaron. Go ahead. Have one more chance. But that defense started punching. Get immunized. Right. You're not vaccinated? You are today. Give me another one, bro. Yo. Best defense in the league?
It has to be. That was one of those, like we talked about with New England. Very fortunate that Drake May had the game that he did because the defense that he has allowed him to. Will that continue on through the rest of the playoffs? No. He's going to have to step it up. Same way CJ Stroud is going to have to shake this last game off. Now, the way they drug test players after having an amazing game, They need to check after games like this for people like CJ, because we need to do something here, because I'm looking at him going, now how did that ball fall out of your hands? Do you need to play like Herbert with 2 gloves? Like, what's going on at this point? Because I'm not understanding how the ball just he just dropping the ball. So yeah, best defense in the league right now is hands down the Texans. They are flying everywhere on the field. Middle linebacker, defensive end, corners, safety. Everybody is in the vicinity by the time you have the peel in your hand. So when, obviously watching Rodgers throw the ball around, there's a little less zip to the ball. He's an old man. You got to give it to him. He's still out there doing it. But when that pocket would close on him, he looked like a kid in the ball pit whenever he just got lost and he couldn't find mom, because he was just in there trying to figure out, like, where do I go? Because it just would close on him and no one would tackle him. He just would have to fall because there was no other place for him to put his foot down. That's the kind of kept on him the entire night. There were several times where they would just run past him and just tap him because he was on the ground. I was like, yo, this is the type of defense we're watching tonight. Good luck, because it was bitter. It was just so sweet, not bittersweet. It was sweet because I got to watch Aaron Rodgers get his butt kicked. I got to watch this, situation of CJ Stroud throwing the ball down and just continually looking like a clown. I always, I have a little side that roots for CJ, but you have to remember he's an Ohio State quarterback. So there's going to be that semblance that comes through for him. And people forget about that because they're like, no, he's one of the good ones. He's still one of them. So it's a win-win for me.
There was a play, the play that you mentioned where they didn't even sack him. He just had nowhere else to go and he fell on his own player. The pressure happened so fast that I was generally watching with the Steelers lineman that he fell on. I generally asked, like, how did you end up on your stomach as an offensive line? Like, I was trying to, like, why are you on your belly? But what happened? Like, what if you got knocked back?
You see the Duck Goose game? They went, Goose, you're in. Like,
because it's like, if you get knocked back on your butt, okay, I understand that. If you whiff and like, how did you end up on your belly facing the defensive line? Like, what happened, bro? What happened to you?
Yes.
What move did he do? Drug test him immediately. As soon as he got to the sideline, they should have pulled him in the blue tent.
Check the account. So
come on, man. Oh goodness, man. But yeah, it was. I'm not there. I really don't know what he did to get the hate that he does. But Aaron Rodgers is a pariah. I don't, like, in all seriousness. If you can feel a way, to me, this is just where I'm at. Whatever his vaccine thing, but that was the start. Like, I don't know what else he did. He was just discount, double check. Everything was cool. And, you came back when you're 40s. Like, I don't, especially because of the fact they talk about him in the same way that they talk about Tom. And, like, we knew Tom was being hated. Tom did some things. What did Aaron do in relation to him? But that's a different topic for a different day. Right? You lost your last throw, if you retire, was a pick six, which tells me Aaron Rodgers will be back to play QB next year. Because he and his ego can't just go out like that.
Don't even put it up there, bro. Please.
Aaron Rodgers will be in some uniform next year because he refuses to go out a pick six. It'd be one thing if it was a tip pass. Incomplete. Because you know why? You get to ride into the sunset being like, and in that moment, that's when I knew it was over, because it was an incomplete pass, but I felt fulfilled in my football career. All the little author shit that they be writing. Cool. A pick six? Stop. Stop. He'll be back next year. He'll be back next year to some sucker team. Yeah, you'll see him soon. With that being said, man, let's get to these predictions, bro. Let's get to this current playoff bracket. What game you want to dissect? We got Broncos, Bills, Patriots, Texans, Seahawks, 49ers, Bears, Rams. I'm on the side of get the boring one out of the way first, which means AFC. So you choose between those two.
If you have your predictions, throw them out there.
I will say for my predictions on the AFC side, I have the Broncos beating the Bills and Patriots going into Houston. I might have the Texans with what would be essentially an upset. And I have a great explanation.
That is an upset. Yeah, that is an upset, but I'm not mad at it.
I have the Broncos defense.
The Broncos, because they're nuts this year.
Like the only thing that might hurt the Broncos is the fact that they sat down a week. You know, sometimes that bye week in the playoffs could be hit or miss. Yep. You would love to say coming off of a week of not doing anything, the best defense in the league is what they're, more or less rated. Houston is a close second, but you are playing a banged up Josh Allen and a receiver core that's a little bit iffy. I think them boys win, but I don't think it's crazy, right? Like, because I don't see Denver's offense just going nuts like that. I think they might have spurts. I think at most the offense puts up 21 themselves, at most. Right. So if the defense doesn't have a pick six or they're just holding them, it could be one of those. The game is going to look closer than it really is to me. That's how I see that game. But that offense puts up 21, but the defense is going to do its job in a lot. So I have the Broncos clearly winning that game. Do you have Josh Allen doing something different? Is the miracle tour still going on?
I think Josh Allen is going to do exactly what you said, which is keep this game interesting. But I think when the chips fall, he's not going to be able to carry this team all the way.
Okay. Think it's a fair time to ask. It's supposed to be his playoffs. Does he get a pass now if he loses?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Your arch nemesis you don't get a pass.
To the media that we know usually defends him, did winning the first game give him enough of a pass? Then combine it with, we did see the hits. It's not like he felt anything. Boy got hit.
Right.
a lot, right?
He got tagged, yeah.
Does he get a pass?
I can see a lot of people giving him a pass by saying the team was depleted. His number one wide receiver isn't doing what he's supposed to do. There will always be an excuse for Josh Allen. I think you could probably find one because of how talented he is. Where I'm at is this is the hump we need to get over. We don't need to be the Buffalo Bills of the 80s, 90s. Like, we need to get over the hump. And right now, we are continually talking about how good Josh Allen is. Gave him the MVP last year. Very controversial, but like, you do all that, and then the next season you win your first game versus Jacksonville and you lose to the Broncos. I don't know. I'm not saying trade him. I'm not, we're not being ridiculous about this. Like, he's still top tier quarterback in the NFL. But like, at what point do we finally get to say, all right, this might not work out, So I think they need to go heavy in the draft this year and go get him a top target. Like a top target.
I think he did enough to get him the media pass myself. I do.
Okay.
I think he did enough to get the media pass. The only thing that would make it look crazy to where you have to talk about it for him, he would have to have a bad game. As long as he doesn't have a bad game, the way that the media has talked and how tough he is and everything he's doing is not to say that he isn't. In that regard, he bought himself a pass.
Okay.
Excuse me. Barring a, 2 interception, 1 fumble loss game where they go and score on them, but it's going to have to be interceptions, not fumbles.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be him throwing it in this, like, them type of throws. Like, he has to have a horrendous game for somebody to even start to consider, like, okay, is it him? Because in combination with you got beat up all year, you don't have a top target, you had to get it out the mud, all the narrative. Yeah, unfortunately, it's like they gave him enough rope. He would have to sprint off a cliff for them to start like with rope around body. Like that's how bad it is, man. And I'm with you though. It should be a conversation, but that's not going to happen. Other side, bro, man, that Texans defense is disgusting. I'm having them win. I do have them win that game. It is an upset technically. Drake May is going to have to play his ass off. You know why? Because the Texans defense is already geared to prepare for 14 to 28 CJ Stroud giveaway points. That's how cold the Texans defense is, that they calculate he's not going to score. Not only is he not going to score, he's going to score for you, and we will still beat you.
He with y'all.
He's y'all.
Got a jersey with us, but he with y'all. Yeah.
We're playing 12 on 11. We're playing 12 on 11, man. Yeah. Like, who knew you could play defense on offense, bro? They started the season 0-2.
Yep.
You know who they lost to in the early parts of the year? They lost to a high-powered LA Rams.
Okay.
They lost to the Seahawks.
Okay.
They beat a lot of other teams.
Yeah.
Comfortably. And those games that they lost were very close.
Yeah.
That defense is the CJ Stroud we saw this past Monday is the same CJ Stroud they've had all season. And that same Aaron Rodgers panic we saw on Monday is the same panic all the other QBs have had all season. It looks like death looking at them boys across the line, bro.
Yeah, that's scary.
Bro, they are that good. They're only fifth because of how bad the defense is. That's it. That's it. Drake gonna have to play. Drake gonna have to play, man. That's all I could tell you. And they got a good enough defense to where that defense might have to score points too.
They're gonna have to. It's not a question of if they have to score points too. And that's the reason why I have New England winning this game, is because I think CJ Stroud is gonna have another game where he hands it to the other team.
Fair enough. Okay, so we agree there. We're 2-2 in agreement, which means somewhere between these last two, we have a disagreement. You got Houston winning?
No, I got the Patriots winning.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. What's the spread?
Huh?
What's the spread? Like, what's the score are you thinking?
10 points.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. 10 points.
I'm banking on CJ playing for the New England Patriots.
10 points, though?
That's a pick six waiting to happen.
I'm trying to think of what game they even had a 10-point spread like that. They lost to the Rams.
The Patriots got their number on this one.
The Patriots offense better than the Rams, the Bucks, the Seahawks. They lost, and the only other team they lost to was the Broncos. This is the Texans team. Is the Patriots offense better than the teams that they lost to? Is the Patriots
CJ Stroud is that bad in this situation to where he helps the team win by that much?
They beat the Ravens 44-10. Despite CJ Stroud. I hear you.
There's nothing else to talk about. There's nothing else to talk about.
They beat a still healthy Patrick Mahomes.
They sure did.
They beat Lamar. I'm just saying, bro, that's 10 points. Okay. Fair.
I hear you.
Fair. Not seeing it. But okay.
I'm out there.
So we have different ones. You want Seahawks, 49ers, or Rams and Bears?
Seahawks, 49ers. And I got the Seahawks.
Of course you do. And of course I do too. Yeah. This
The
matchup.
49ers did what they needed to do to get through that last game, but they in trouble. They hurt.
Yeah. No, man. Yeah, this might get ugly, and this might get ugly fast.
Yep.
Shout out to George Kittle, bro. Like, of all people, you don't wish injury upon anybody, but it's like, everybody loves you, man. And his tear didn't even look egregious like the other ones. It genuinely, it was a casual step, no hyperextension, ankle taped up, and that also, to what I be saying, was like, I don't think it matters if it's low cut or high top. His ankle was taped. His ankle was clearly taped, and he still tore it. That's crazy. I hadn't seen an ankle taped or an ankle brace and somebody tears it. Right? Like, yeah, man. So shout out to George Kittle. I hope for a recovery, because that also tells us, man, he's not playing next year. Right? At least I don't think he should. His recoveries have been crazy, but yeah, man, like, he might come back mid-season. I feel for people that go through that. That's a tough injury to come back from, but they got all these conspiracy theories now with the 49ers of how close that facility is. You know, that's why they're always hurt.
So the electrical grid,
yeah, man. Y'all might have a class action lawsuit, man. I don't know.
For sure.
you know, I don't know. You might have to like bathe in some natural spring waters for days on end just to probably get some years back, bro. I think that was clear. They're going into Seattle too. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It might be a 17-point game for me on that one. Bears Rams.
That might be the game of the week. I honestly believe that might be the game of the week. And I got a homie that's the crazy Bears fan. He's ready to ride for him. I'm actually going to his house to watch a game, so shout out to him. But I think the Rams got this one.
Really? Okay. This is Jamel versus Ev for me, right? And I'm not gonna hold you. I can understand where you have the Rams winning. I have the Rams going into Chicago and losing, though. First and foremost, I need both black QBs to win. So as you see, I have chosen both black QBs. I got one that will give the game away, and I got one that showed me that he can win a game if you put the ball on the line and it's in his hands. I see the Bears continuing doing exactly what they did last week, and mainly for the fact that that defense is still that defense. And if the Panthers can hang in there and slow down or alter the Rams in the way that they did, they still put up 30. But that Bears defense is significantly better than the Panthers. That Bears defense is going to make Puka Nacua work for it. And as long as they maintain and possibly hold the Rams to somewhere within the 20s, that allows Caleb Williams to go and do what he has to do. There's a lot of pressure that's not on Caleb, which kind of makes his game more fun to watch. That defense is good enough to where you get to go out there and then just pop up and you know what I'm saying, play. So I have the Bears. So we disagree with the Bears and Rams. We disagree with the Patriots and Texans. We agree Seahawks, 49ers, Broncos, Bills.
All I'm saying, I was pretty on point with all my calls last week for the games. So I'm feeling pretty confident about this week too. I got all of them but one, so I think I'm doing all right right now.
I said Rams. I was wrong on the Eagles. I can't remember what I said for the Bears or Packers myself.
I think you took the Packers just to be spicy in the conversation.
Okay. I did say the Texans. I didn't believe in Trevor Lawrence, so I was right there. And I said the Chargers. So I know I missed on Eagles, Bears, Packers, and the Chargers, Patriots. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Bears, Packers gave me a game. Eagles, AJ Brown hold. Like there's accuracies that were there that wasn't outside of the calls that I made. It was just y'all did some weird, you know what I'm saying, like that y'all did some weird stuff, or magic.
A little weird on that one. Rudy tapped in with us. He said that from the outside looking in, the switch up on Aaron was quick. Terrible way for him to go out. If he does go out, David definitely thinks he's staying with us. But he said he took the under, so he cashed out. So he appreciated the contribution. You know how the chips fall sometimes, man. That's all.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then I was wrong on the Chargers and Patriots. I'm not mad at that one either. If again. It was all field goals until the last.
That was a
terrible game. Okay. Last but not least, NFL. Coaches resigned. Coaches have signed. There's coaching spots still available, right? Give a breakdown. Harbaugh went and he signed John.
John.
Yes, John Harbaugh, former coach of the Baltimore Ravens, now new coach of the New York Giants as of today, right? They're saying he's inking the deal as of today. And in other news, we have Mike Tomlin stepping down from the Steelers after being there for well over a decade, got them a championship as well. And for whatever reason, Dallas fired their defensive or offensive coordinator. Like, I don't know what he did. Or the defensive coordinator is like anybody but the main
defensive coordinator. Yeah.
Cool. What does this mean for the Giants?
You finally get some structure, some discipline, and not just these wild, wild West Cowboys that you keep trying to like hire in the interim and all that. Like, you finally get someone who's respected. You finally get a coach who knows how to put an infrastructure together. So as long as they give him the tools, this should work out for them in the better. I'm not saying that he turns them around to be a Super Bowl winning team, but this will be a team that will have to be, looked at in a different light moving forward. So I think the New York Giants pushing the chips in, saying, let's go get a coach to start this off with was probably the best move, because with him coming in, having say-so before the draft and all that, I think this will really help the personnel for the team as well.
Okay. I don't disagree with you. I think we're just now essentially looking at the timetables for Malik Neighbors and Cam Scatterboo to really give him that boost that we're probably looking forward to him having. You got a rookie that showed that he's willing to play as long as he's not trying to concuss himself. So you have a good setup on offense. They were scoring points. Even post Neighbors, they were still going out there scoring points. They were winning upset games. I haven't paid too much attention to their defensive side, which might be why he's brought in and you get to call what that is. So there's a lot of upside. There's a lot of upside, but there's also a lot of work. But I do agree with you. That's a great pickup. I think he's great for that environment. I think he could thrive well in that type of pressure scenario. So I think that's a great pickup for him. And I think that's an organization that's going to give him an opportunity and not just pull the trigger and fire him quickly. It's also an organization that's desperate for any good news right now. So this is their big fish. This is the biggest fish that they've landed in some years, especially after we've seen Hard Knocks and what they've passed on. So I like that. I think both sides win. I do.
Yeah.
Now, other port, Mike Tomlin steps down. What does that mean for you?
I mean, it just kind of means that I was talking to my pops about this yesterday. Like, kind of means like the changing of the guard is kind of happening. We're seeing in real time. These organizations want to invest into the younger coaches right now. They want to have a coach like Tomlin, keep them for 20 years, and they have the infrastructure and they grow together through the good and the bad, and hopefully have what they can as a coach for the next 10, 15 years, not having to switch coaches every 2-3 years. It's not the plan or the game plan that you really want. So watching Tomlin leave definitely sucked, because obviously how well of a coach he has been for the Steelers. I mean, for the culture in itself, I mean, he's been a great representation, but he might just have been tired. Honestly, in my mind, I think Tomlin was just tired. He's been doing this for so long. He's probably can just kick his feet up and do some cushy media job, but like it's them winters are probably rough in Pittsburgh, you know what I mean? And doing all that and then having the infrastructure that you did, but then the guys that you had are gone and you have to pick up and do it all over again. Like, I think it's time. Not everybody.
I think I have portions of agreement with you. You said a very key point. So I might start off with just saying, don't be surprised at whatever team in the South that Mike Tomlin's going to show up with by the start of next season, wherever their son, right? Like I think he was tired of Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh was tired of him. He was tired of Pittsburgh. I think their relationship came to a very mutual and respectful end of Steelers.
Right.
The Steelers organization historically rides out with their coaches. They ride out with their team. That's what they do. There wasn't a bad tumultuous relationship. It's just you have a standard. This is the goal. The Steelers aren't there for the playoffs. This is a historic franchise. They expect championship runs and championships, more importantly. So you get in there, and then now you have some mixes going. So in that same essence, he's a top candidate for a lot of teams. And you take him in a situation where you're not stuck in Pittsburgh anymore. That's a win. That's a win. So you go down somewhere south. You could be, I know at minimum somebody picks him up as a defensive coordinator, but you can easily be a head coach if you chose to be a head coach. If you can get you, like in his big thing right now, I think genuinely would be if he decides to continue coaching and he goes and speaks to these organizations, the big thing right now would be, are you willing to let an offensive coordinator be an offensive coordinator? That's going to be his big dream. Like if you give that space and not have to be as hands-on with it, because that's just currently not your forte. You haven't been able to reproduce what you did since Ben Roethlisberger has retired. Right. We watch you with Russell and Justin Fields back there. Some games were great, but apparently they were calling different plays in the huddle. That's what they're leaking out there. You've had a batch of receivers from Antonio Brown to Juju Smith-Schuster. You lost Claypool, whatever the hell happened to him. You had DK Metcalf, which I told you is not a receiver. He has one route, no hands, all shoulder pads. That's it. That's what I'm saying. Right.
All shoulder pads.
Shoulder pads got more catches in his hands, man. But anyway, so you've had Le'Veon Bell, you've had the bus, you've had Najee Harris, you've had a lot of talent there, and it's just like the offensive never flourishes. They never flourished the way that they were supposed to. Aaron Rodgers might be your best offensive season in probably the last 5.
Yeah.
Give it.
Lord knows anything Randolph had to touch.
Okay, so your offensive highlight might be Mason Rudolph getting punched in the face with a helmet by the now sacked. So I do see him down south. I think a wild pairing in my Atlanta dream would be him as the head coach and McDaniel as the offensive coordinator, and they just do what they do. But hey, it's probably not going to happen. But I do expect him to be down south. I think he's tired of Pittsburgh. That's what that is. I think they came to a mutual, and he's tired of Pittsburgh. Get out of there.
Yeah, I bet him and his wife probably tired of the cold.
Kids probably graduated by now. Like they're not going to college at University of Pitt.
There's no him to be in the cold no more, man. Go to Miami and get you some sun, dog.
Yeah, man. I see him down south. I do think as we just transition here and just kind of wrap up with the NFL side, the coaching openings. Who goes where and who needs what? And I'm gonna start this really quick with I think Tampa Bay might fire their coach.
That's not too crazy.
Okay.
It's just been mediocre since they've won the Super Bowl with Tom, and he wasn't even the head coach at the time. So, like, it's
mediocre.
I mean, you think they've done
better
than
NFC
mediocre?
Championship since then? They made it to an NFC Championship since then.
I'm looking at the overall. I'm not looking at the one season. I'm looking at the overall. I think overall, when you look at it, you go, it hasn't been good enough. And you want somebody to get the team over the hump because they've shown you that they can be, at moments throughout the season, that team. But you need somebody to get them over the hump because right now what they're doing is stagnant. It has not been the last couple of years what you would prepare or want your team to be.
Man, mediocre is tough. I might be stuck on that because if you have an NFC Championship, you've only missed the playoffs once. You have a Super Bowl that Tom and them won in 2020. So in 5 years, that's not That's not bad. You were the scary team in 2 of those playoffs because you overperformed. Right. You cleared out the Eagles one year. This is the first year, and this has been injuries everywhere. For the type of season you had. Mediocre. His resume whoops a lot of coaches. His resume whoops a lot of coaches not named Andy Reid and Nick Sirianni in these last 5 years.
I got you. But here's the thing. You start having these seasons back to back to back to back to back. You start looking like Mike Tomlin. And not to say Mike Tomlin's a bad coach. Obviously, he's a good coach. But I'm saying in this situation, in this scenario, do you continually ride this same wave where you might be or you could be or there's a potential, and you know you have a small window with certain players, Mike, all these other guys. Do you make the push now or do you try to ride this out? My take on it, you kick them out. You find a way to make the push now, because I'd rather fight that battle than continually just hold my breath to see if something is going to happen.
Okay, so if we make it easy for ourselves, we'll just say right now, it looks like I'm going to go by landing spots before we get to the coach.
Okay.
It looks like the best landing spots from the research that I did at number 1, Baltimore. Pittsburgh, number 2. A lot of people have Cleveland up there, and I think this is going off of you have now with Stefanski, you can only go up. They feel there's enough with Shador. And then you have a great defense. So that's 3. Falcons at 4, Miami at 5.
Is Arizona in there?
Arizona would be right after for 6.
Okay.
And then if to round it out, if we're just being special, because they need a coach, I think that's the only reason why they'd be in this ranking. Tennessee at 7, and then same thing with the Raiders at 8. You just need a coach. So technically you're in the rankings, but you're not listed as the best case scenario.
But the Raiders present a nice opportunity if you're an offensive coordinator, if you can go get Mendoza. So I think that one might be higher up on some like offensive coordinators list, just to see like if they can take control of that one. But
that offensive line, it don't matter who you have back there.
Right, but I'm saying you draft Mendoza, then use the rest of your draft to get an offensive line. Like,
They draft Mendoza. He going to get a text from Ashton Junty talking about go back to school.
It's too late.
Go back to school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So out of those 5, do you disagree? Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, AFC North, Atlanta, Miami.
I don't. I actually agree with the order exactly. I think Atlanta and the Miami job might just flop just because you want to be in the sun a little bit more in Miami. But as far as like the potential, what the teams can do, I'm okay with that, because Atlanta showed that they can actually be a competitive team, especially towards the latter part of the season. Miami just looks like a dumpster fire, but like you're in Miami, so is it really that bad? I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely Baltimore is the best job. You have Lamar Jackson as your quarterback. You get to come into a system like that. That is the best, easiest opportunity to take, because, not to say it's easy to coach. That is a well-oiled machine that you're kind of going into.
Okay, so then I'm going to throw out 4 coaches. 2 of them are going to be offensive coordinators that are being recruited currently as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
Harbaugh just signed, so you still have Mike McDaniel.
Flores. Defensive coordinator, but Flores needs to be in there.
Okay. Mike Flores. Kevin Stefanski. Ben Johnson. And Cliff Kingsbury's name has been thrown in there a lot. Fine. Both of the Rams defensive coordinators have been thrown in there a lot.
Wow.
Right? But I'm going to stick with Ben Johnson, Kevin Stefanski, Mike McDaniel, Flores, and then, we'll go with those 4.
If I'm being honest with you, bro, I think Baltimore's
I'll add Tomlin, just because. I'll add Tomlin.
okay, I mean, well, then you go get Tomlin. But like, if we're looking at the teams and like the coaches that we've heard about, because we're not even sure Tomlin wants to coach right now, I would lean more towards a Ben Johnson because I like what I've seen with him. If I'm Baltimore, if I had to make a pick outside of Ben Johnson, I would go Brian Flores because I've seen him show me what I need on the defensive side because he's defensive minded, a defensive coordinator for that. You make him make Baltimore's defense like the way that we really know them to be and where they can be, and you just let an offensive coordinator have fun with Lamar on the other side. I think that's more dangerous than going to get an offensive mind to go help Lamar.
Okay. So Flores is off the market. You have Pittsburgh. You know what? And before we go there, let me go with I might have myself McDaniel going there. Still being the same to Baltimore, still being the same defensive mind, right? Okay. So I'm with you on the same train of thought, but I have McDaniel going there because I know Cleveland's been trying to talk to him, but they were talking to him before Harbaugh got fired.
Right.
So if I was going to weigh the two, you coming, not only would you be going into a defensive situation that's better for you than what you were dealing with in Miami, you also then get to incorporate what you learned from being around, like that Miami culture in that offense. And you might be able to incorporate that, and Lamar provides the best opportunity for that. So I might see McDaniel going there.
I'm not.
So you got Flores off the table. I have McDaniel off the table. If we go over to Pittsburgh, how you call it? Pittsburgh's number 2.
See, the way I see with Mike McDaniel, right? The way I see this, I want him as the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator. That's just me. But if we're talking about the coach available, you want Mike McDaniels. Now, is he going to handle anything Pittsburgh? I have no idea. That's a tough. You kind of want like a hard-nosed dude in there. Like Mike Tomlin was in there before with the success that he had. I don't know if you can bring Mike's personality into that. Maybe they need to loosen up a little more. I don't know, but like he's the best. He's the next best option. So I'd have to go McDaniel.
Okay, cool. Since I already used McDaniel, I'm not gonna lie to you. I might go Ben. I think they're able to convince him to go there. And you're used to Detroit's defense. You have Shador on offense, and I mean, first order of business is just getting rid of Jerry Jeudy, and it's up from there. It's up from there. Okay, McDaniel, Ben Johnson's off the table for me. Cool.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and skip one. That tells me Stefanski, because obviously Cleveland's next, is more than likely going to end up in Atlanta. It's either that or Miami. So you end up in Atlanta. Other than you being petty, not a bad coach. Other than you being petty, quarterback situation is wide open, just like it was in Cleveland. So you actually get to pick one that you like.
That's why I think he's the worst person for this situation. You just went through this.
No good pickings.
You don't want to do this again in Atlanta, bro. Y'all actually got a chance to make something pop over there. I don't. I'd hate. I'm just telling you now. I'd hate to see it for you. I know you're trying to be a fan and show your support, and that you got them throughout thick and thin, and I appreciate that from you. But being your brother, I'm going to tell you, I'd hate that for you. I'd hate that.
I want McDaniel, but I don't have a better situation as a Falcons team to present that's better than Baltimore. If it wasn't for what Baltimore had, I think the Falcons would be the second best pick for any offensive coach. Or any defensive coach that's willing to go get an offensive coordinator. Right. That's a good combination to have, because on both sides of the ball, you have a lot of upside. But if McDaniel's already being scooped for the Ravens by me in this scenario, that's what you have left.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Who do you have going to Miami? Ben Johnson? Because that's who's left.
Yeah.
That's tough.
I might even swap Ben Johnson and Mike McDaniel. I think you could even do a swap for those two, because I think Ben Johnson's deserving of a head coaching job. So it's wide open for him, honestly.
That's tough. Okay. That's pretty.
You know
simple,
who I want in Miami? Cliff Kingsbury. Go have fun. We remember that one-way ticket to Thailand. Don't let it get twisted. When all that happened in Arizona, you took that one-way ticket. We ain't forgot, okay? Go on, take your butt over to Miami and just have some fun, bro. Go ahead.
That one-way ticket to Thailand is heinous. Heinous activity. Well, we gonna end the episode, man. I forgot to do this as we were going through it. What are your Super Bowl picks? Do we have an update this year or this week? Got a little shaky for some of the teams that you chose.
Mine has remained the same. Seahawks.
Yours has remained the same is crack.
See, yeah, you're right. It has shifted from week to week. It is. Seahawks has remained the same. I will give. I'm there. Seahawks. The last couple of weeks, I've been there. At this moment, I'm still saying New England. Just threw up in my mouth a little bit, but it happened.
I might have an adjustment. Well, I have to adjust on the NFC side first and foremost. The Eagles lost. So, with that being said, I sound like Brother Jamel. Go Bears.
Wow. I'm not mad at you for that. That's
go Bears. Hey, honestly, it could have been them or the Packers. Once the Eagles lost, that's where I was at. Them or the Packers. So they won out of that. Go Bears. I respect LA, but I think this is a tough game for you to go into. And then on the other side, I still have the Broncos. I just want to make a note, and it sounds wishy-washy, but please do not be surprised if we see one of the most insane defensive runs from the Houston Texans that will take them to the Super Bowl, because there is not a stellar offense that concerns me or concerns the Texans. Them Texans beat the Bills already. Them Texans haven't seen anything them Texans have seen scarier than the Patriots. That's correct. Them Texans can see a Bo Nix. Don't be surprised if that defense, it would all literally come down to CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud, I think, knows, and we're seeing the pressure cracks pipes. CJ Stroud has the responsibility of the Texans making the Super Bowl square on his shoulders. You can be absolutely right about Ohio State QBs, or in a freak turn of nature and confirming the end of the world, he ends up winning a Super Bowl, and we just call it quits then and just accept that.
If he wins the Super Bowl, it's not he won the Super Bowl. This is a Trent Dilfer, Baltimore Ravens type of defense. You win the Super Bowl because of your defense. So in this scenario, in my mind, it's a lose-lose for you either way, fam. I don't care. They're so good, Trent Dilfer, and you can't make me think otherwise.
That's tough, man. Well, you know what, man? We appreciate everybody that came in today. We love y'all. We love the people that tuned in. Shout out to you, Rudy. We see you in the comments, man. Shout out to the people that joined on the Instagram side, man. This is the Keep It Clean Sports Show. We are now opening the door for more topics. Football is wrapping up. We're about to see the end of college CTE this upcoming Monday, and then we're going into the last, what would be now 3 weeks of football. 3 weeks of NFL football, right? So basketball is wide open. We're going to give y'all a special episode. We know the trade rumors are happening, so we're going to get to that as well. But for all of y'all there, man, please do the usual, like, comment, and subscribe at the YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at the Keep It Clean Show. And on Twitter, if you're still using that wild AI west of whatever is happening over there and the questions that they've been asking Grok, if you want some cleanliness, Keep It Clean Show. Follow us over there, man. We appreciate all y'all, and we are out.
Every time you see me, I keep it clean like a coaster.